Hello everyone, Joel here. Look, we all know the feeling. You stare at your massive digital library for an hour, realize you have nothing to play, and end up replaying Elden Ring for the 17th time. But what if I told you there is an entire universe of absolute single-player bangers flying straight under your radar? Today, we are diving into 15 amazing single-player games you probably missed, but desperately need to experience in 2026. Kicking things off, let's talk about a game that asks a very simple question. What if we took a standard sci-fi cover shooter and injected it with pure unfiltered energy drinks? Designed by the legendary Shinji Mikami, this action masterpiece lets you strap into an experimental battlesuit and rocket slide across the floor on your knees at Mach 5. In real life, your knees would instantly turn to fine dust, but here, you are casually smoking a cigarette in slow motion while doing a backflip and shotgunning giant killer robots. The story is cheesy B-movie sci-fi at its absolute peak, but when the movement is this buttery smooth and chaotic, who cares? It is an adrenaline rush from start to finish. Moving right along, if you ever wanted to feel like a tactical genius in Edo period Japan, this is your ultimate playground. You control a squad of 5 distinct assassins, from a hefty samurai who can clear entire rooms to a sniper with a wooden leg, sneaking through heavily guarded fortresses. And here's the funny part, in this universe, a simple hiding bush is the most terrifying weapon of mass destruction known to man. Be prepared to hit that quick save and quick load button roughly 50 times per level, because trial and error stealth is practically a canonical gameplay mechanic here. When you finally execute a synchronized 5-person takedown without sounding the alarm, your galaxy brain will feel massive.
Okay. 早く小型のさん起きてよ。
Next up, let's pay respect to one of the most legendary community achievements in gaming history. This is not just a remaster, it is a total, ground-up reimagining of the original Half-Life built in the Source engine by Crowbar Collective. We all joked for a decade about this project taking longer than actual human evolution to finish, but sitting here in 2026 with regular anniversary patches and thriving community expansions like the military mod, it is absolute royalty. They took the dreaded Alien Zen platforming chapters from 1998 and transformed them into a jaw-dropping gorgeous sci-fi art gallery. If you have never experienced Gordon Freeman's worst Monday at work, start right here.
Nope.
Good.
Now, if you are craving something with pure unadulterated style, let's talk about the undisputed queen of hack and slash. You play as a stylish witch who fights terrifying biblically accurate angels using pistols attached to her high heels and weapons forged from her own hair. The combat system is so fluid, it makes other action games feel like they are moving in wet cement. The best part? Dodging an enemy attack at the exact last millisecond triggers witch time, slowing the entire world to a crawl while you breakdance on an angel's forehead. It is over the top, deeply sarcastic, and mechanically flawless. Once you learn how to string combos together without mashing buttons, you will feel like an absolute gaming god. Shifting gears to a shooter with surprising emotional depth, don't let the dual-wielding automatic shotguns fool you. On the surface, you play as a walking brick wall of pure rage whose hobby is turning alternate history fascist regimes and giant mechanical robot dogs into scrap metal. But the real surprise here is the storytelling. Between the absurdly satisfying heavy-hitting gunfights, the game features these incredibly somber, poetic inner monologues that hit you right in the feelings. It brilliantly balances over-the-top B-movie carnage with genuine human vulnerability. If you want a story-driven shooter where guns feel like mini cannons and every single stealth takedown feels intensely satisfying, this is an absolute must-play. Before we continue the video, I want to inform you that right now, there are tons of crazy deals in instant gaming, especially if you love RPG games. Remember how expensive modern gaming lately? Well, not anymore, since you can get so many amazing titles with crazy discounts in instant gaming. Can you believe that just with $10 or even less than $5, you can enjoy one of the best gaming experiences in your life? Just look at these titles. It used to cost like $30 or even more than $40. And to make things even crazier, some games even drop so far to just $1. If you're a smart guy, you know what you have to do. All you have to do is just click my link in the description below, start searching for your favorite games, and use the activation code on your chosen platform. By using my link, you're not only saving tons of money, but also helping me to support this channel. Alright then, let's get back into the list. Heading straight down into the radioactive dark, let's talk about the ultimate survival shooter atmosphere. Set in the ruins of the Moscow subway system after a nuclear apocalypse, this game is masterclass immersion. The real inside joke for every Metro veteran is that heart attack panic when your gas mask filter starts ticking down to 0 during a boss fight, forcing you to constantly wipe mutant blood and radioactive dirt off your visor just to see. Plus, military-grade bullets are literally used as currency, meaning every time you miss a shot, you are basically firing your own lunch money into a wall. It is claustrophobic, gritty, and still puts modern survival games to shame.
The bloody gospel of the blade. But your goal is elsewhere.
Now let's step out of the dark tunnels and into the blinding desert heat with what I like to call the post-apocalyptic car combat and scrap collecting simulator. Frankly, this game was criminally overshadowed when it first launched, but it is a total blast. Your main companion is Chumbucket, a heavily mutated mechanic who worships your car, the magnum opus like a literal deity, and screams religious scripture while you harpoon enemy sniper towers at 90 miles per hour. The on-foot combat has that heavy, bone-crunching counterattack rhythm we all love, but the real star of the show is building the ultimate death machine and ramming wasteland convoys into exploding balls of fire. If your idea of stress relief involves sitting 300 yards away in a church tower with a high-powered bolt-action rifle, this one is for you. This sandbox stealth paradise is famous for one very specific reason: the X-ray kill camera. Every successful long-distance shot triggers a glorious slow-motion Mortal Kombat-style anatomy lesson that tracks the bullet shredding through enemy armor. And let's be completely honest with each other, we all know every single player deliberately aims for that highly tactical lower body critical hit at least once per mission. But beyond the hilarious slow-mo carnage, the huge open-ended maps offer massive freedom to sneak, sabotage, or trap enemy patrols however you see fit.
I think I've grabbed all I can.
Trouble. Ground forms up under his feet as if pointing the way.
Taking a break from the realism, let's look at an indie legend that practically defined modern action RPGs. You wake up on a floating world that literally builds itself tile by tile under your feet as you walk. But the absolute magic here is the narrator, a greedy, acoustic guitar strumming cowboy voice that dynamically reacts and narrates your every single move in real time. Feel like rolling off the edge of the map just to see what happens? The narrator will gently roast your clumsiness without missing a beat. Combine that unforgettable dynamic storytelling with a hand-painted art style and snappy customizable combat, and you get an absolute timeless masterpiece. Alright, if you want to turn your brain entirely off and embrace pure chaos, look no further. You start the game as the President of the United States, but within 10 minutes, an alien warlord traps you inside a digital matrix simulation where you suddenly gain Neo-style superpowers. Why would you ever bother driving a customized sports car when you can sprint faster than traffic and super jump across towering skyscrapers like a chaotic Superman? Oh, and did I mention there is a literal dubstep gun that shoots musical sound waves, forcing alien armies to breakdance themselves to death? It is completely nonsensical, stupidly fun, and the ultimate playground for virtual destruction.
We'll overload a little.
That means something to me?
It means the simulation doesn't like it, and we're able to control the area.
Sounds simple enough.
It's a
Order a jar rolled Orcs extra crispy coming right up. Oh yeah.
Up next is a brilliant mix of third-person hack-and-slash action and strategic tower defense that will test both your reflexes and your brain. Your goal is simple: stop endless waves of invading green-skin hordes from reaching your portal. How do you do it? By turning every hallway into a ridiculous little Rube Goldberg machine. There is nothing more deeply satisfying than watching an arrogant orc get launched into the air by a spring trap, frozen solid, set on fire, and sliced by wall blades before hitting the floor. It hits that primal gamer satisfaction of watching a crowd of clueless enemies walk straight into your meticulously calculated meat grinder while you snipe them from afar. Now, if you have ever looked at Doom Eternal and thought the game needs a Guitar Hero controller, get your neck brace ready. Metal Hellsinger is a pure adrenaline rhythm FPS where you shoot, reload, and dash to the beat of a roaring heavy metal soundtrack. The real joke here is that missing a beat turns your terrifying demon-slaying weapons into absolute squeaky toys. But once you hit that 16 times multiplier and vocals from Metal Legends, it is pure absolute dopamine. Sure, players with zero rhythm will definitely suffer at first, but between the Purgatory DLC's brutal horde mode and the VR release letting you physically headbang your way through hell, this is an absolute masterpiece. If you want a tactical experience where your stress levels will rival the characters on screen, this squad-based real-time strategy game is a masterpiece. Unlike standard sci-fi shooters where you mow down thousands of bugs, this game treats xenomorphs like the terrifying, unkillable apex predators they are supposed to be. You command a squad of colonial marines from a top-down view, and if a single motion tracker starts beeping in the air ducts, your soldiers' psychological stress meters will literally spike into panic attacks. Death is permanent here, and every single bullet counts. With recent updates and DLC adding cool tactical camo and customization, it is easily one of the most intense nail-biting sci-fi horror games available today.
Good work, Marines. Looks like we've got a few minutes, people. Make the most of it.
Let's take to the skies for an indie arcade flight combat game that will make your eyeballs melt out of your skull in the best way possible. The easiest way to describe this game: the color orange. The entire sky constantly turns into a blinding, chaotic inferno of smoke, missiles, and glowing explosions, while an absolute banger of an orchestral soundtrack by Jose Pavli threatens to blow out your speakers. You play as a silent mercenary fighter, ace pulling off impossible G-force maneuvers against entire airborne armadas. And with the PC release of the Frontline 59 campaign DLC adding fresh missions and mind-blowing VR support, barrel rolling through a thunderstorm of enemy missiles has never felt this intense. Finally, let's talk about a game that defies the laws of aging. This ancient Roman gladiator epic originally launched way back in 2013, yet somehow sitting here in 2026 on PC with 4K max settings, it still looks better and more detailed than half the games releasing today. You play as Marius Titus, leading Roman legions and slicing through barbarian hordes with brutal cinematic executions that look like they were pulled straight out of a big-budget Hollywood movie. Sure, the combat mechanics are fairly straightforward and simple, but as a pure visual spectacle and a stress-relieving weekend power fantasy, hacking your way through ancient forests is absolute royalty.
Vengeance is coming!